right, you're watching Superskum.com. I'm Chris. I'm here with Scott from Skeleton Witch. So we're going to start with kind of an innocuous question. What's the biggest and smallest venue you guys have played?
Oh, wow. The biggest was probably at Summer Breeze Festival in Germany. It's not technically a venue, but the smallest is got any number of basement shows we've played. We played, especially when we first started, so many basements, DIY spaces and things. I don't know which one's the smallest, but maybe this basement in Milwaukee. Yeah.
So Skeleton Witch has been compared often to Goat Whore, who's another awesome band and I guess Superskum favorite. Have you guys toured with them or any plans to?
Yeah, we're great friends with them. We've done a lot of shows together. The only official tour we did was with them in Europe. Well, it was Goat Whore, Toxic Holocaust, and Skeleton Witch, all three together. But we've played so many one-off shows and festivals. We both did Ozfest together. And on this tour, when we played in New Orleans, Ben and Sammy came out and hung out. So the writing is definitely on the wall for Skeleton Witch and Goat Whore to do a real U.S. tour together, for sure.
So Skeleton Witch has a lot of live videos, not a lot of studio videos. Is there a reason for this? And, will we see, I guess, more live videos in the future?
I don't know. I don't know if you'll see more live videos in the future. I mean, we have a few studio videos. We have 3 or 4. But, I mean, they're sort of overdone. Unless you have some kind of crazy budget, which most metal bands don't have these days. I mean, why make a video if you're just going to do the classic abandoned warehouse, video, or like the same shit you've seen 100 fucking times. So a live video at least is what it is. Like it's actual, we just use real live footage and just, and go that route because you actually see the band playing a real show. It's at least, even though it may not be the fucking, Martin Scorsese fucking picture, it is realistic. It's real. So who knows? We'll see. Yeah. I don't know.
What's the best avenue for your fans to get a hold of your music? I guess more specifically your CDs.
Our CDs? I mean, it's available. Go to your local record store and buy them because our distribution is good enough that you should be able to get it at any respectable record store that carries metal releases. That's what I would say. Rather than the chain stores and stuff have it too. You can get it there. You can get it on iTunes, all that good stuff. But I work at a record store when I'm home. It's an independent store, so I'm gonna lean that way and say go find your creepy old dude that owns a store that in your hometown. Buy it from him.
Definitely go buy CDs. None of this downloading.
Yeah,
stuff.
or vinyl. We have vinyl.
Or even better vinyl.
Yep.
Starting with Beyond Permafrost is your first of 3 releases on Prosthetic Records. Prosthetic is a fairly small label, but it has a lot of really great artists like Septic Flesh and 1349, and obviously you guys. Since we don't hear a lot about the label, how's your time with them been? And do you have a future release coming out with them?
It's good. Yeah, the next record that we do will come out with Prosthetic. The relationship is good, and I like it because I like that they're small because they're big enough, like going back to the distribution where they can get the records out and stuff like that, and they have a decent reach. But at the same time, when there's ever an issue or anything needs to be discussed, I can just call the owner of the label on his cell phone anytime, day or night, and we can bitch at each other, and it's great, and we're buddies afterwards. So you don't have to, with some friends that we have on Metal Blade and stuff, or other labels, doesn't matter. A larger label, if you will. Not every single band on Metal Blade is calling Brian Slagle. It's not going to happen. There's not enough hours in the day for him to hear every band's small gripe or just whatever. With Prosthetic, though, they sure do. Anytime. I love it. We get to know the staff very well, the PR people. I mean, because it's such a small family, that we're all friends and we all work together as a team. And it's a nice feeling to not have to talk to somebody who talks to somebody and go up a chain. You just go right to the top and you're like, what the fuck's going on here? Yeah, and you work it out. So then they've been great like that. So All right, so in 2004, you released a live DVD called Live Friday the 13th. We actually never did.
You never did?
That's the funny thing. Have you heard the audio from that?
I have not.
Because, there's some bootleg live show that a lot of people have on torrent sites and stuff. And that audio circulated a bunch, and people actually put a title on it. Like some of the metal websites actually say act like it's a release. But I don't even know about this DVD.
Okay, well, there you go. I have the information wrong.
Oh, wait.
Uh-oh.
I don't, well, you know what? Now that I think about it, when we had a fill-in drummer for a minute and he came on tour, I think maybe he made some DVDs of an early show and sold them at the show. God, I don't remember.
Okay. All right, so we'll fix this question by saying,
Maybe.
Maybe in the future,
well,
if you plan to do one, where would you like to shoot it at?
Oh wow, I don't know. We maybe would even do it where it's stuff from multiple shows, just different crowds, different sound, different venue and stuff. Otherwise, if it had to be one place, we would probably do it at the Union Bar and Grill in Athens, Ohio, our hometown, which is a great place.
The Skeleton Witch has, lyrical themes that are family friendly that include stuff such as, occultism, Satanism, death, and violence.
The good stuff.
Are there any other topics you want to maybe touch on?
Well, Chance does write all the lyrics, so I can't really speak for Chance, but I can tell you that, we're not the type of band that's going to be overtly political or, we're not going to get on a soapbox and preach at you about stuff. There's enough people doing that. We all have our own opinions, but the band is not our vehicle for that. So we prefer to have music sort of as an escape for us, and that's sort of why we got into metal, why we love it as well. As it was fun, even though it's like evil, and you can have a good evil time. I mean, go see King Diamond. Absolutely. So I mean, for us, that's metal was sort of an escape from the bullshit. So there's not going to be any explicit themes like, well, we're really concerned about this right now, so we need to express it through our band.
So no Skeleton Witch saving the whales.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about gas prices or I mean, when I'm home, maybe I'll save a whale, but it's not going to be involved with the band.
Pirating of music is, a decades old, I guess, topic now with the internet and stuff. Do you guys have any thoughts on what could maybe improve the industry? Maybe get fans back to buying CDs and, I guess, in some ways bring it back to the good old days?
Man, I mean, I don't have, an answer to that. I mean, if somebody, obviously there's a lot of record executives and people trying to come up with some kind of silver bullet for that one, and they haven't. So I don't really have a good answer to it, but I mean, it's inevitable, it's something that, it's there, so we're not the type of band that's going to go nuts about it and get mad and seek people out and, yell at them online or shut down their downloads or whatever, because it's just going to pop up somewhere else. It's like whack-a-mole, so it is what it is. I mean, as of right now, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, maybe Spotify is sort of helping, or some certain cheap, outlets where people will maybe pay for it instead of download it and get a better quality, but I don't know. I really don't. I mean, I don't have an answer to that. But shit, it'd be a little easier to pay the bills if it didn't exist. But it does, and everyone's guilty of it. I mean, people have burned me copies of albums that I didn't pay for, but just to check out. However, if I do like a band a lot, I go buy the record. And I work at a record store, and I have to. I have to put my money where my mouth is.
I see a lot of that in the metal community too. It's if, hey, I'll burn you this CD, and if you like it, I know you're going to go buy it. We don't suffer, I guess, from the pop world where one or two songs is good on the album, the rest is filler. The metal bands seem to really, put a lot of heart and soul, I guess, into the album, put a full album of good music out. So.
Yeah, and I think metal fans are more loyal and big buyers and collectors, like with vinyl and limited edition stuff and things like that too. So I mean, I think we're better off in the metal world than maybe say other genres where, well, that's not entirely true, because the piracy may be way more extreme in pop music, but also the money is still way more extreme in pop music too. So maybe it's relative, but whatever. You can't. We don't spend our days bitching about it or losing sleep over it. It is what it is.
Skeleton Witch, as you said earlier, is from Athens, Ohio. Not a
mecca of metal.
Not a mecca of metal. But can you tell us a little bit about the scene there? Maybe there's some other bands that are coming out of there.
Yeah. Athens is a college town, and that's where Nate and I met, and that's how the band came together. We were both students at the time. So there's a lot of music there. It's not overly metal. I mean, there's a lot of punk bands, rock and roll bands, garage rock. There's a lot of bluegrass, because we're at the foothills of Appalachia as well. So it's a really good music scene for a lot. There's a lot of hippie jam bands and stuff too, being a college town and stuff like that. But I mean, it's cool, because you'll see people at a show, like a hip hop show, and then the next day they're at a punk show, and then they're drinking Bloody Marys, nursing their hangovers on Sunday at like a bluegrass show at a bar. So it's a really cool place to hang out and see a lot of different types of music.
All right, so there seems to be nicknames for just about everybody in the band except for Chance and Dustin.
Yeah.
Can you give us some insight to the meaning of these nicknames? And is there anything that maybe you want to stick to either Chance or Dustin?
No, well, I mean, Chance has never really had a nickname. I don't know. Maybe it's just he just doesn't give a fuck. There's not really a good story behind most of them. They're usually really dumb. Well, I guess Nate, when I met Nate, he already had the nickname 8 Feet Under. I think it was because he had this huge 6 Feet Under sticker on the back of his car, one of those gigantic ones. Everybody called him 8 Feet Under. I don't know. Evan's name was just a we have a lot of time on our hands in the van, and we're pretty bored. So shit gets really weird. I'm pretty sure at this point Nate and I can communicate to each other in no real language. We're sort of using English words, definitely the English alphabet, but I like we know what each other means, and people would be thoroughly confused by what we're saying. So it sort of just comes from spending too much time together that we have really dumb nicknames.
Your latest release came out not too long ago, but have you guys been starting the process of the new album at all?
Yeah. We have a song basically done. We haven't played it live yet. It's not quite there. There's a little tweaking, but we basically have a tune done and a bunch of ideas, parts, riffs, things for the rest of it. And actually, when we finish this tour, we're gonna go directly into writing mode for a few months and then go right into the studio. So unless something crazy happens, some crazy show offer, the Metallica tour or something, which I'm not holding my breath for, we're not doing anything for several months and writing right into the studio and then back out on the road like nonstop.
The album art for Skeleton Witch is pretty amazing and epic. Who comes up with the ideas, and then who creates it?
Well, the ideas, all of us sort of come up with a general idea together to start with, and I have to give credit where it's due. Chance is probably the most involved, like as far as generally what a good picture or an idea, and then maybe he'll bring up his general idea for it, and then we'll sort of tweak it, like maybe we should put this or not include this or have this kind of a perspective on it, as far as the general idea, and then. The first one was Prosthetic, Beyond the Permafrost. That was done by John Baisley, the guitar player and singer from Baroness. And then Breathing the Fire and Forever Abomination were done by Andrei Buzikov. And both of those guys, they asked for lyrics, song titles, the music that we had, even demos and stuff that we had written so far, and our general overall idea of what we were looking for, and then did sketches, and we sort of hashed it out together from there. So everyone's involved. The artist in the band is pretty involved from the beginning.
All right, now we've covered, I guess, a lot of this, but I guess, beyond this tour, what does the future hold for Skeleton Witch?
That's a great question. Beyond, recording a new record, writing and recording, I don't know. I mean, we really want to get to Japan and Australia next year in 2013. Also South America. We've been getting a lot of offers for Mexico, so maybe we'll get down to Mexico this year. As far as things we haven't done yet, like new territory. Absolutely, we're going to go back to Europe. Hopefully we'll be doing some big festivals again this year, which is always a good time. Plenty of U.S. touring, headlining and otherwise, but it's too far ahead to know exactly when Europe may happen, when Japan, who with, and all that. Anything could happen, but you can rest assured, as soon as we write and record that fucking record, our asses will be on the road like nonstop.
I guess we got a traditional Superskum question. You guys all know it's coming.
I don't.
Oh, the bands don't. But is there any message or advice you want to give to the fans that are watching?
Well, I guess I would just like to say thanks. Sincerely, thank you for anybody who has bought a record, let us crash on their floor, bought us a beer. I mean, we have the best job in the world, and we've been doing this for 10 years now, and the only reason we're able to do it is because people actually come out to a show, or, buy a record, or enable us to put gas in the tank so we can fucking show up. So we really appreciate that, and we don't get to say that very much, so...
All right, I want to give thanks to Scott and Skeleton Witch for their time. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Chris.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome, man.
You've been watching Superskum.com.